Alright, g'day guys. Welcome tonight to another Realmworks video. This time we're going to be looking at probably more of an advanced data entry topic, and that is basically how to bulk move articles to different categories. I'm going to jump straight over and start talking us through this one just so everyone can follow along and keep up. Alright, so in front of me you can see I've got a PDF open. Basically what I'm working with at the moment is the Arcanus, the World of Shadowed Empires. It's a Forged in Magic Reforged, and it's a lovely magic book that was basically put out on Kickstarter. And it's got a lot of stuff in it that I really appreciate. As you can see here, it's by Henry Lopez. I certainly do recommend it. But when I was entering this book, I came across an issue with Realmworks. And that is a lot of the time this book uses different sort of topics and headings that aren't used in sort of generic 5th edition books. And it does it a lot. And as an example, here is something where, I found I'm doing a lot of this secret spells, Faithful of Neroth. Basically the heading, the secret spells, seems to come up quite a lot. And I'm doing a lot more data entry than just this book for this particular campaign setting. I'm doing a couple of adventures, I'm doing the campaign guide, I'm doing quite a bit, and therefore always adding in this extra heading was getting quite annoying, inefficient, and I really wanted a way to sort of add it in automatically and save myself a lot of time. So let's jump over to Realmworks now and I'll show you how I achieved this. All right, so I went into Manage and I went into Categories. And basically what I wanted to do in this case is I was working with spells. So I go down into my my categories here for the mechanics section, and you can see here I've got spell. And what I did is, this is the default one, which I'd never change. I always try and keep that one standard. Is I made a copy of it by clicking on the little toolbar, and then basically coming in here and going duplicate, create duplicate of category. That created this one here, which I called secret spell. All right. Obviously the intention being it's a secret spell. I wanted a category for secret spell. And what I've done is I've gone through and I've basically made sure it replicates this perfectly, but then I've added in the bits and pieces that I need. So in this case here, I needed secret spell. I had to put it in, so therefore I put it in. Everything else is pretty much the same. All right. Now the reason why I've done this is now when I go over to my realm and I jump into my mechanics section and I want to start creating new spells, I can actually do that straight away. So if it's a secret spell, I can come in here, I can drop this down if I go to abilities, and I can go secret spell. Okay. And if I go new secret spell, I click create, we can now go into that secret spell. Where did I put it? There. And you can see here I've got the secret spell heading already in, which means from a data entry perspective, I can be a lot more efficient, right? I can just go in and say, right, this is a secret spell. Here we go. I don't need to keep recreating the headings over and over again. It's an efficiency thing. All right, but then along comes the content market and the content market guidelines. And the guidelines are quite clear. They say that we should always try and work within the default categories where possible. Now, there's really good reasoning for this, and I've had a really lengthy discussion with Rob over this one. Thank you, Rob. I'm very, very appreciative of your time. And basically, guys, if we all create our own categories, if we all hit the content market with content and we're all adding in categories, then every time someone loads in your content, they're going to load in your categories as well. All right, skip forward a year when we've all loaded in a heap of stuff. It's going to be a mess. You're going to go into your categories and you want to just walk away because it's an absolute mess. We really need to try and stay within the guidelines of the categories that are provided. Okay, that's Lone Wolf's perspective. That's what the content market states. And after having a lengthy discussion, I 100% agree. All right, we don't want to come into here in a year's time look in here and say, all right, I've got 16 different variants of creature, I've got 14 different classes, I've got 6 different backgrounds. Okay, that's not going to be something that's going to be easy to manage. So the idea is that we don't do that. All right, but I can hear you probably thinking, going, well, what about the efficiency gain? You've just lost that because you can't do that. And I thought the same thing. All right, but there is a solution. All right, you can see here, well, I might just leave the new secret spell for now. We're going to come in here and we're just going to enter some test data just for the purpose of it. All right, so we've got a test there. Now, not all of these are secret spells, but if we go through, you will find that some of them are. And in those cases, I basically want to take those secret spells and I want to change them into a different category. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the Manage section and we're going to go into Categories. And we're going to basically come down here to where it says Secret Spell. And we'll go to these menu options here. And there's an option here called Move All Articles to Category. All right. My intention is to move them all to the Spells category. Now let's just discuss this for a second. The concept of this is that I move all of these over to the spell category before I export my content in preparation to put it on the content market. Okay, what this is going to achieve is I've allowed myself my efficiency gains. I've created all of my secret spells using the secret spell category. All right, but then before I release this to the content market, I come over and I migrate all of those into spell categories. And what that's going to do is it's going to take out all the secret spell category articles that I've got and change them into spell categories, but leave the extra headings that I've added. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll just show you how it works. We'll go move all articles to category. We'll go to spell. We're going to say yes, you can't undo this, so make sure you're right. We'll let that process. That's done. And if we come in here and check our test, all right, we can see we've still got all of our tests. All right, you can see I am going to do a little bit of cleanup. I have to do that because it's added back in the range and the duration. All right, which is absolutely fine because that comes with the 5th edition spells. I'm not going to need it in this case here though. I'll just remove it afterwards. But if I go in and I go to my article category, I can see it's a spell. All right. So this is really cool because basically I've basically utilized the category system to get my efficiency gain in my data entry. I've made it a lot quicker for myself, but then before I export, I've turned it back into the official category as it is, which means when I export it and you guys import it, you're only going to get a spell category that you already have in your 5th edition systems. You're not going to get an extra one. All right. Because guys, I need to stress that again. If we all create custom categories for everything we need, then eventually we're all going to have all those extra custom categories in our realms, making things a mess, really bogging down that system. All right, and I'm a believer now. I don't think that is a good idea. All right, I was of the opinion that using categories wasn't going to be too dangerous until I thought about it, until I discussed it with the devs, and I go, you know what? This could lead to a situation that I would personally not like to have in my realm. All right, so there you go, guys. Just to run that through again, because I've got another situation where I can do this. I've gone through and I've created the alchemical items. As you can see here, I've got blood paste. I came through and created all of those. All right, you can see some really lovely items there. And if we basically go through, we go to manage, we go categories. And we'll come up to where I've entered those. It's a little blue bottle. All right, and I'm going to change these over to, let's see, probably a magic item. Would that be the one? I think that's the closest one I'm going to get. Yeah, that'll do. And click yes. Make sure you're happy with this before you do it because you can't go backwards. Oh, you could, sort of. All right, we'll click done. Now we can see it's changed them all over into magical items. They're all there. I will need to go through and do some cleanup, but that won't take me long. All right, but I've managed to maintain everything that I needed for those items. All right, so there you have it, guys. That's just a really sort of quick and efficient way to sort of gain some efficiencies by utilizing custom categories, but then by not bulking down everyone's content when you do send this off to the content market. All right, so if you are planning on making content for the content market, please do make sure you listen to what we've discussed here today, because I really think moving forward that's going to be a real healthy thing for everyone to do. And you know, if we've even got a handful of people not doing it, eventually we're all going to basically suffer from that, because you know we're all going to have to deal with the fact that we've got all these extra categories. But then again, if that does happen, you could also use this process to clean up your realms that are imported and migrate them back over and get these items back out. So this will be beneficial to the content creators and also beneficial to the guys who are obviously importing the content. All right. Now, guys, if you've got any questions, if there's any videos you'd like to see, please do leave them in the comments below. If you are finding these videos helpful, please do subscribe. It's always good to see how many people are finding this useful. And apart from that, guys, I'll speak to you on the forums, and have a great night.